Hey everybody, this is Trish Kane, CEO and founder of Healerverse. Welcome to our weekly roundtable. Every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a Healerverse roundtable where we feature one of our amazing Healerverse practitioners. Today, we have Jennifer Fitzgerald from If The Herb Fitz, and actually I have bundles of her teas that she makes. You've never seen anything like this in your entire life. Every single flower and herb is handpicked, literally, and in a bag. And I've used it myself to cleanse a lot of my energy and my gut health and to help me to sleep and many other things. Even I have something with my skin sometimes that flares up when I don't sleep a lot or I'm traveling, not eating right, and that is the solution to everything. She's also super enlightened. She spoke at both the Miami and Delray events that we did last year. And without further ado, welcome to the Healerverse Roundtable. Our website is 5dhealerverse.com. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to tell us a little bit about what she's doing, what she's done, and what she's going to do. Take it away.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Trish. And so grateful to be here and to be connected with the Healerverse family from day one, connecting with you. It felt like home. Much of this journey I did by myself, which is extremely hard. And what I'm realizing right now is we were first wave, right? We were the first to go through this. And the great unfolding is happening now, where all of these truths are being brought to the surface, and the second wave is beginning. And so, us first wavers, now that we're joining together, they're all going to be coming to us. And it's going to be so important to share with each other. My specialty is herbs, but it's also lifestyle. And everybody has different things. There are some people that are going to need physical energy work. There's people that are going to need some mental health support at first. So there's all these different avenues. And when we come together, then we can really help people heal to the highest power. For myself, I have been doing some mental health therapies for about 3 years, which was with a spiritual therapist. And we got into doing some more non-traditional things like the hypnotherapy, which is now becoming way more popular. So we did some past life regressions there. And I found out that so much of what I was carrying was also past life stuff. But in doing that, I also found out that I was an herbalist in the past, more than once. And that just immediately gave me my purpose. When I came out of that session, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to sign up for herbal school right away. And actually, my therapist was like, I was going to give you this book today. She's like, somebody gave it to me and I have no use for it. And it was called Herbal Magic. And it was like this huge golden book. And it was really interesting because in that life, there was a healer that had gold eyes that I was working with. And then here's this golden book being handed to me. So that's how this journey just continued to unfold. It was like synchronicity after synchronicity of okay, I am 100% where I'm meant to be. And we're going to figure this out together. I did have a background in personal training. So very good on the physical fitness and the nutrition side of things. But I knew that wasn't it. I knew that the mental needed to come in. And what I didn't realize was it was really the spiritual that needed to come in. I grew up going to a Baptist church, but we were kicked out when I was 6 years old because my parents divorced. And while my mom made the absolute best decision that she could for what was best for her and the family, the church didn't see it as that. And I found that so interesting because she was the leader for the kids group too. So we were very involved with the church. It wasn't just like attending once a week. We were there multiple times a week, and she took care of the daycare. So to be just cut off, kicked out, and then to also go through the divorce part. And it was like, where did God go? Where did prayer go? Where did connection to spirit go? And I spent my life really searching for that. And I searched in all the darkest possible places I could go because I thought, well, if he's going to save me, let's see, let him save me. And then I had the realization of, God is within. and it's up to us to save ourselves. And I actually tattooed salvation at that point in my life on myself. Um, and then this has just been a really deep connecting with Creator along the way. And everything I do is through Creator. Everything I do is from love. And I check myself if it's not, if I'm frustrated or irritated or whatever's going on, I take a couple steps back because I will not make anything that's not out of love. And my tea is definitely made out of love. Those recipes were a combination of the schooling and doing my research. And thank you to the millions of herbalists that came before me for having all of that research. But a lot of the combining of what herbs I selected were done through meditation and connection with my ancestors. My great great grandmother was Native American. And I've also had past lives where I've been Native American. And so I really tap back into that and connecting with Mother Earth and letting the plants speak to me and through me. And because of the background in personal training and nutrition, I really know how the body system works. And so that helped me select the herbs too, because like you mentioned, Trish, you have skin things that come up, but you also mentioned gut right before that. And so the gut and the skin are extremely connected. Yes, that is the mind over gut matter tea. And it's because the mind and the gut are connected as well. And how are they connected? Well, through the vagus nerve. It runs from our brain down our neck, and it has the biggest web in our stomach. And that is the messages, that our gut feelings, our first connection to our mother is through our stomach, right? So everything that's going on in our gut energetically, spiritually, but also nutritionally is going to affect your skin. Your nervous system is communicating. So that's that network communicating from your brain to your stomach and connecting those dots. So then I realized not only do we need the brain support herbs, but we need the gut support herbs there too. We need the nervous system support. So there's lemon balm in there, which is known for calming the nerves, helps with anxiety, really helped me get over my anxiety. And there's also things like slippery elm in there, which are going to help with the digestive part. So it's going to help slip that right through your digestive tract. There's calendula flower, which is great for your skin, but it's also great for your internal skin. That's one thing we don't really think about is that we have skin on the inside too. And so to help heal and seal, oftentimes what happens when there's too much acid or even just like the cleaning chemicals we use on our hands and those seeping in, that breaks the gut lining, that breaks the barrier. And so we need to seal that. So the calendula acts like a band-aid there, So I really did run through these systems of the body of what is actually happening when you're experiencing this. And then just reverse engineered that with the herbs. And so the herbs were the beginning phase of my awakening, and they have been my staple. They have been my spine, my backbone to everything. There are days with this unraveling process of figuring out what makes my human tick and why I am this way, that are really, really hard to face. And, having the support of the herbs is huge. I mean, nature too, but it's not every day that we could just go sit at a tree. And so if we're on Zoom meetings all day, how can we get in touch with nature? We can let the sun in through our windows. We can sip on our tea while we have these meetings back to back, and so finding that balance. Now, the herbs will support you, but you still have to do the work to find the balance. But at least you have help. At least you have an ally.
Wow, this is so powerful. And I couldn't help it. I just got up and I went to the kitchen and I started to make tea, like your tea, the gut one. Yeah. Because I've been doing like celery juice in the morning and drinking a
Beautiful.
lot of water, and I haven't been hungry for like the last like several days. I know I'm going through a big shift myself, and also I feel the energy of like the collective of humanity and all that's coming out. Like some of it's kind of comical too. I'm like, well, duh, you better not try to do this, like with that, especially with what came out yesterday. But yeah, like I didn't have this education growing up at all. And then obviously they just flipped the food pyramid upside down now. So that's huge and good. I think a lot of us are not going to be as hungry going forward as we become more enlightened and light beings in the frequency of the earth. starts to really level up, and it's going to be the teas, especially what you have, that are going to help to support our consciousness and our light force. And um, yeah, I know for me too, like a lot of the stuff with my skin equates to the environment, to stress, to traveling and eating and processed foods and whatnot, which I really enjoy processed foods. Like they taste good, but I pay for it. So
Yeah, so
hopefully,
that's where the herbs will also support you, right? Because once that level of nutrition is in your body will reject more and more of that food until it becomes completely intolerable, until
yeah.
you literally cannot digest it. Um,
Yes. So for me, it's more of like, man, I love those beyond spicy sausages, you know? I love them, but we don't get to, how do we get these herbs into our beings, right? Without like having something like your tea, you know? It's just like, and these are like staples that, like you
yes.
said,
I'm
ancestors.
not the only tea manufacturer out there, but I would
I've never
say
seen anything like your tea before in my whole life. It is so special.
I agree. I agree. And I thank you for that. And the
Yeah.
loose leaf is very important. There's a lot of information coming out too about the tea bags being toxic, that they're bleached,
Yes.
and, that they have the aluminum staple in there or glue or both.
Yeah.
And oftentimes too, getting like a hot tea when you're out and about, you're going to have a cup that has a wax lining. And when that heat hits it, that wax just comes right off of there. And then you're ingesting that as well. And so, that's the other thing, right? Is like you can't drive yourself too crazy with this stuff. You got to try to get it where you can get it, but just being more prepared for the day. They make so many cool things now where there's the bottle that has the little diffuser built in there. And
Yeah.
the night before, you could pick out your herbs, put it in there. And in the morning, all you need is hot water, pour it in, and you go for the day. Or you
Yeah.
don't even need hot water. You just leave that ready for yourself. And then you hit a Starbucks up and you're like, hey, can I have a cup of hot water? And then have them pour it right in there. Don't even pour it in the cup. So, I find ways to still travel and get my tea in. I can't live without it at this point, because I feel the support and I also feel the difference from not having it is a
Yeah.
huge factor, and to go back to what you said about,
I was trying to,
sorry, did you have a question? Was that Michelle?
no,
Okay. So when we were talking about being enlightened and that word light, eating lighter foods, which
Yeah.
was a big talk. Dolores Cannon talked about this too. And she said that as we begin to ascend into 5D consciousness, that we would not need such heavy foods that weigh us down. Um, and I've done some more research on that. And scientifically, they're saying that the way the sun is closer to us, the way these solar flares are coming in, that we're actually getting nutrients off of the sun, which is also why there's such a, defense against letting us see the sun right now, as most of us know. But some are still refusing to even see that. So, getting that time out in the sun, and it's really the first 45 minutes of the day and the last 45 minutes are the best. That's when the sun is closest to us. And that's when the light is most tolerable, where you can even look into it with your eyes open or eyes closed. Your skin is still very thin there, so you're still going to get those nutrients. Um, Trish, are you able to change the screen? I don't know if I'm on there or
Yeah.
if,
I have you pinned on my,
okay,
yeah, I have you pinned on my desktop where it's recording.
okay, cool.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
see on your end?
I was still seeing Michelle's picture, but it just changed.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So yeah, there's as we get into being able to feed off of the sun, we're still going to need some nutrients and having that liquid nutrition that is so bioavailable. As you're drinking it, your body doesn't have to break anything down. It's like the hot water already broke it down for you, and now it can just absorb.
You know what I'm doing right now? I literally put a tablespoon of the tea in hot water and I'm boiling it right now. And it's so beautiful. There are flowers floating around in the water. and it's gonna boil, and then I'm gonna strain it with my regular strainer, not like my pasta strainer, but like my small strainer into a cup. And then what's so cool about that too, I feel like I can use the same mix a couple of days in a row because it's so potent.
It is, yeah. And the Chinese way is to really sit with that same pot of herbs all day, and you just keep adding more hot water to the mix. I would be careful with boiling the herbs, more get the water boiling and then add the herbs in there, just because some of them tend to get bitter, especially like the Yupon green tea that's in there. So just for the taste, just to make the taste where it's going to be good. I know some people are very picky with taste. Right now, I'm at the point where I don't care if it's been sitting there on the counter all day, I'll still drink it.
Absolutely. But
There's
that's cool.
no harm.
That's educational too to learn that from you. Is there any other tips that you have for us?
Yes.
Like,
So I
yeah,
do
tell
want to
us.
have, it's so funny for me when I hear the different ways people make the tea. Um, for myself, I just have an electric kettle and I use like distilled water for that just so I'm not building up, like calcifying the kettle. And then I have a pitcher that has the diffuser down the center, and I'll add like 2 tablespoons of the herbs to that. And once the water temperature gets up to anywhere between like 175 degrees to 195 degrees, I'll add that into the pot. And then I let that steep for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then it's ready to drink. Now, if it's a big pitcher, like I'm saying, I'll take the herbs out of there and I'll put them aside. And the rest that is left, that way it doesn't continue to steep and make the flavor stronger and stronger and stronger. You can also put the lid on that and refrigerate it too. And so this month is 3 months no alcohol for me, or 3 months, sorry, 3 years, 3 years no alcohol.
Oh, nice.
So I do enjoy making the mocktails with the tea. So whatever I save and I put in the refrigerator for later, I'll add like a little poppy soda to it, which is that prebiotic soda, or like a Perrier or something, just to put some bubbles in there. And then I'll put frozen fruit and fresh fruit and just muddle it all up and make a really, really delicious drink
That's
that also
so,
is not going to poison me.
yes, yes, that's so fun. Wow, that sounds delicious. Perrier, fruit, tea, yum.
It goes so good together. It
Yeah.
really is like the best thing you've ever drank.
You're like a herbalist, herbologist, and mixologist.
Yes. And I am a cowgirl too. I have cattle, I have
You
horses,
have
I have
cattle?
chicken. Yeah.
How come you haven't invited everybody to your house yet?
I know we need to get there. So the real reason is because we had Hurricane Ian destroy the home.
Oh,
So we had about 4.5 foot of water in that house, and we only lived there for a year at the time. So we really got to that completion phase of everything was set and organized and finally done. Like I swear I hung up the last picture on the wall the weekend before. And then the flood hit us. So it's been 2 years of rebuilding since that point. And we're only there on the weekends. So I do live in the city during the week, and we have to for school and for my husband's work. And then on the weekends, we travel 3 hours to our ranch house. And that's a great
wow.
escape. We do that every week.
That's amazing. So where can people like come see you like in person and everything like these days? Can people come meet with you and get like maybe consultations and stuff in person?
Yes. Well, mostly online for the consultations, but in
Okay.
person, I do events. I did take a little hiatus recently from some events, but I'm back. So last one I did was yours. But the next one will be New Life Expo on March 7th and 8th. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait
Okay,
to
great.
see you. That's
Likewise.
great.
Yes, so I'll be there too.
Great.
And then there's a local chiropractor here. Her name is Dr. Paula Hedgelon. And I'll be doing an afternoon tea social with her too. The date is still to be determined, but if you follow me on social media, I always keep everything posted, so you'll be in the loop there. So for both social media and my website, it's If The Herb Fitz, like my last name, Fitzgerald. So that's Fitz. And I love being in the community. I'm super excited to be back out. I really took winter to do the winter things, right? So even though we're in South Florida, the real heart of winter is coming back to yourself, coming back to your roots. and making your roots stronger and trimming off the dead. And so I needed that isolation time right now. I hired 3 amazing mentors that I've been with for about 3 months now. So it's just been this really beautiful introspection time period of my life. And I knew I'm only as good as myself. Like whatever medicine I bring forward to you is only going to match where I'm at. So I knew I needed to do some further inner work before I came back out again. And with that said, I still wanted to bridge that gap because there's so many people that are new to this, like the food pyramid switching. Like there's so many people that lived off of that for so long, they really believe that. Um, and so there's just so many levels right now, and I want to be there to still support those people. I don't want to leave and go too far, ascend too far, and leave everybody behind. And so I'm going to do events where I kind of group it into like beginners and people that are more ready for the next phase. I've done a couple of goddess events, so I really love working with women and getting into that whole aspect of our Venus. There's Roni of Body Glow Studios. She's in Boca. She's on Palmetto and Powerline. We'll be doing some events there soon too. So that's also really cool, like wood scraping, lymphatic drainage type of stuff that she does. So I'm really excited to partner. She carries my teas there as well. So I can also always meet people there if anybody wanted to do in person.
Wow, that's amazing. Like I feel like tea goes so well with lymphatic drainage.
It does.
Like
I
it's
designed a tea just for her. That's the embodiment flow and glow.
oh wow, okay. Amazing.
Yeah, so
Wow.
when you buy
So
like a package of 10 sessions with her, you get the
yeah.
tea with that.
So is that something you offer too, that you'll design like a special tea for people? Like,
I did in the beginning, but that got so complicated. And I actually use that as my blueprint for making these teas because talking to person after person and seeing what was the most common things that people were suffering from, I was able to really make that the standard. And so that's why I came up with the fun names. Like, you don't have to know about lymphatic drainage. You just have to know, like, you want to glow and flow, right? And so, okay, perfect. That's it. Like, how do I get that inner glow? It comes from the gut. It comes from
does.
training, right? And so
Yes.
it also comes from your heart, of course. Your heart shines out.
Wow.
But like mind over gut matters. So that way you can understand, right? We're working on your gut, but it's also your mind. It's how you handle stress, how you respond to stress.
Yeah, you nailed it with the names of your teas.
I had so much
Nailed
fun
it.
doing that part.
Yeah.
And I've still been
Like,
brainstorming. I'm coming up with like a tea quiz right now for my website to help people too, so that
cool.
they can really just navigate like what is coming up for them, what are they feeling, what are they looking for, and then there's a few that are just always recommended, right? Like every American needs mind over gut and needs sleep tea. If
Yes.
if we're not
Yes.
restoring while we're sleeping, you're
Yeah.
never going to heal. You're never going to heal. And I actually just learned that
Yeah.
that is one way they tortured people in the past was they would mess with their sleep and then they would get them to break like in hostage situations because if you're not sleeping, you can't handle anything else. You really can't sit in your own power.
You're right. That is what they do. Yeah, sleep is important. Gut is important. Everything that you're doing is so important. I think it was, well, I got that bug bite. I've shared about this openly.
Yes.
And a lot of the healers helped me with that. Like I really got sick, I'm still like feeling like a little bit, I'm starting to recover, but whatever like bugs are out there now, they're not the same
I know.
and whatever they're launching. But yeah, like I basically won for like 3 days in a row and I'm still doing it, but I put your tea and I made a whole concoction of stuff. I like put your tea and then I dumped some other stuff in there like cloves and cinnamon bark. And I don't even know if you're supposed to put all that together, but I didn't care. And I even gave myself a fever for 2 days, which was like from like that, from
Good.
the
Yeah, I was getting it out.
yeah. And I just wrote it out. And anybody, this is only going back like right before I went to Dubai, maybe like a week and a half before, or 2 weeks before. And yeah, it burnt all of that. And I felt so much better. Then my arm started shrinking, like, and now it's like almost gone and
Good.
healing. Yeah. Like, and I knew what it was. I'm like, Trish, you went on a tangent, like eating whatever, and it started maybe like November, December, whatever it was, and it didn't stop. where I was like just eating. Like, and, I also have like, I don't drink and stuff for a long time, over a decade, but I have like that addiction mindset. And it's
You know,
great if it's used
it's
in the right
escapism,
way.
right?
Yes.
It's how do we learn how to face our stuff without numbing, without
Yeah.
escaping, without avoidance?
Yep. Some of it is escapism and some of it is just like, I am ambitious. Like, it's like I have fun. I'll see a
Mhm.
problem and I'm going to do it until I solve it. But yeah, like the eating thing, like ice cream and da da da, and sugar. I became addicted to sugar and I'm like, when is this going to break? And then it's like one of those things, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And last night I went to a vegan restaurant in Lake Worth. I forget what it's called. It was named after a cat that they rescued, but it is so good. And they brought out the dessert menu and I said no.
Good job. Yes. Tomorrow
Yeah.
is here.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, no.
Yes, and a lot of that is also parasites, right? So
I know.
parasites make us crave sugar,
Yes.
as well as bad behavior. So it's
Yes.
not just sugar. They're going to help you to drive you to having these bad behaviors because of what it would lead to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the only control we really have is over ourselves, what comes in and out of this mouth.
Yes. And being conscious enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like drinking tea is part of consciousness. It really is. There's something to it. It's almost like a romantic experience.
It
Drink.
really is the oldest
Yes.
medicine, right? It's sitting
Yeah.
around a campfire with a pot over the fire, pot of water that you need to boil anyways because you don't trust the water, and then why not rip off some plants that are nearby and add them to the pot? And now you're going to have medicine, you're going to have something to drink with medicine.
Yeah. Are there any like, do you ever put like honey or anything in your tea or tell us?
Yes, I love honey. So I don't feel like honey is sugar. Honey is a superfood.
Yeah.
And so I love my local honeys. I'm actually like a honey connoisseur. I collect it from everywhere I go. That's my souvenir. Wherever I go, I'm bringing back honey.
Really? I love
Yes,
that.
and so the local honeys will help with allergies
Yep.
too. And so if you're going to a place, where you're in the altitude, you're up high and you normally get sick, getting that honey in you is going to help you so much because those little pollinators go around and they collect from every medicinal plant in that area.
That's amazing.
And the plants are going to naturally grow around you to help you with whatever there could be. We're at sea level here. We're going to have seasick plants. We're going to have plants that help with the sun. So wherever you are, your medicine is already there for you. And I really enjoy foraging. That's more my favorite part of herbs is just going out in the woods and connecting with the plants and learning about them. In the beginning, I was like, I'm going to collect them all, like Pokemon. And now I'm like, no, preserve them. But there is a balance to picking them also does help regenerate them because the plant gets the signal like, oh, part of me is gone. Let me produce more. And so there is this connection there that's really cool. But back to honey, Manuka honey is also my second favorite. That one, like if I ever feel scratchy in the throat, anything coming on, a spoonful of Manuka honey and it's gone. And so sometimes I make that my dessert. I'll just take a spoonful of honey and I'll just enjoy it slowly.
What's Manuka?
So that comes from New Zealand only. That's from the Manuka flower that grows there. So it is such a different texture and flavor of honey. It's very gritty and it's like a golden, like it's not clear at all. It's very thick, unfiltered, very gritty.
Like this?
That looks beautiful. But no, it's so different. My honey's kind of far. I'm not going to go grab it, but you'll have to look it up. So,
You
and
love
the
it. I'm in the
Manuka honey,
kitchen.
I love Manuka Health for that one. And they have on there the different levels. So, the average one comes with like 60 parts per million. And then the highest one you can get is like 1,000. And then they only make like 100 of those a year or something. Like those are very pristine. Um, and so then that's what I do instead of buying alcohol and fancy bottles and all this stuff. Like I invest in really expensive olive oil and honey because
Yeah.
those are actually benefiting you.
Can you tell us where do you get your olive oil from?
I really like the Brian Johnson's snake oil. It's also
Ooh.
called Blueprint is the name if you look it up, and it says snake oil on the bottle. Or just like straight from Italy, having people that import from there directly. It's like all those little underground markets.
You know who has better olive oil than Italy?
Who?
Greece.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
is on the
God.
agenda. I want to go there this year so bad.
Yeah, I lived there for like 4 months in 2022.
Wow.
And the olive oil there tastes so good. And then, but it's also like they bring it down from like the north to
Mhm.
Athens. Like, and people like have their like tree farms and everything. And oh
Yeah,
my
they just do
gosh.
shots of it. It's supposed to be so good for the skin. It's also very good for your brain. Our brain is
Mhm.
mostly made of fats, and so we need fat. We need the healthy fats between the olive oil and the avocado. But also, what we're learning is like, the mafia owns the olive oil distribution. And they've even said that there's no way possible for the number of olive trees that are on this planet to produce the amount of olive oil that we have at the store. And so what else is in there? What are they filling it with? You know? So that's why I love mom and pop shops. I love shopping local. I love shopping directly from source of wherever it is, because that's the only way you're going to cut out the rest.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you can feel also like, because I think we were talking about before we hit play, the sensitivity of a lot of us on this call. And like, you can feel when somebody's loved, you leave with love. And um, yeah, I mean, even I can feel on the land, like when your ranch opens back up, I definitely want to come.
Yeah, no, it's open now. We're back and functioning. Part of that unraveling for me was I pushed myself so hard because I was only there on the weekends.
Yeah,
And I spent the entire weekend decorating and putting things in their place. And then to watch it all wash away was
my
like,
God.
okay, I can't do that again. Like,
No.
I'm gonna take my time. I'm going to make sure I take the breaks and enjoy nature. And in that time of being kicked out of the house, we were in the trailer. We have an RV on site too. And so we were in the trailer, and you're not going to hang out in there other than sleeping, really. So I was outside the whole time in the woods. We have 32 acres there. And there's some of it is the cow pastures, but there's a lot of untouched land in the back too. And so I spent so much time just out there hanging out. Like, wow, this was like our ancestors, just in the canopy, hanging out back here.
Wow, that's amazing. So what else do you have coming up soon? Like, well, we can obviously see you at New Life Expo. Do you have a booth there?
I do, yes.
You do?
I
Oh,
do. So you can come try the tea. We'll have the tea samples ready. We have
oh
hot, we
my.
have cold, we have everything. So um, I won't be speaking this time, but we'll just be there, which I'm excited to hang out at the booth and talk to everybody too. When you're speaking, you're kind
Yeah,
of like in
totally.
and
I'm
out.
excited to come spend time with you and be down there with you. I'm saying down there, I'm assuming it's in the expo hall, but I spoke to Mark this morning on the phone actually. He's like, help. Like help to get more people there. He was asking help to get more people there. So, and I think before 9:30 in the morning, both days, if you get there before 9:30, it's free to
Okay,
come.
good
Um,
to know.
for attendees, yeah. And yeah, like I told him to create speaker badges.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like, different stuff to promote. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people want to see you there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love going out and meeting everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so reminded of a lot of the process I've been through when I see people, when I hear their questions, and then it's like, okay, this reminds me of the beginning. So I need that too. Like I said, I want to bridge that gap. I don't want to get too far from the beginning. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love meeting people. I love their questions. From Healerverse, I met one of my mentors there. And I also just had like a customer there that she's become a great friend, and we go to farmers markets together and go have lunch together and stuff. So being in that atmosphere of like-minded people is so important. We need that support. We do. A lot of people are just now waking up, but they're in a place of such anger right now. And like I said before we started this call, you can't create anything good from a space of anger. You can't.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can't. And so, having people, it's okay to be happy even in these trying times. It's okay to feel peaceful even during these trying times. As a matter of fact, it's so necessary. And we have to be those stabilizers for the rest of humanity. We got to anchor in. And so when I get to be there and just anchor and talk to people and see them, like see those layers come off of them, I feel like I'm doing my part, and I love it.
Yeah. A lot of people are looking for somebody to speak to about different things because they don't know who to speak to.
Mhm.
I can imagine that a lot of people feel alone right now. And we probably felt like that a lot too. And then we found each other. And I have seen people writing on social media that they need help.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So actually, yesterday I asked ChatGPT what's the deepest question they've been asked. Oh, it's 11:11.
Oh, nice.
And what are some of the most popular questions of 2026? And it is so, tugging on my heart because the number one question that rocked chat was, if I let go of what protected me, will there be anything left of me? About your identity, because like this working hard to prove our worth, or pleasing people so that you're liked. Well, if you stop pleasing people, are they still going to like you? Like, are you still the same person you were? So all of these reflection questions are coming up, but the important part is to realize you're just becoming more of who you are meant to be, more of your true nature, if you will. So yeah, that we have all these layers to us that need to be peeled off right now, because we did have them there to survive. We did have them there to bring us to this point in this time, and with grace and with gratitude, like, yes, thank you for getting me here, but it's also okay to let you go. It's also okay to let those parts of me die off and to continue on in the newest, most aligned version of me.
Drop the mic.
It's some of these other ones. Let me see if I can find them. What if the thing I call my intuition is sometimes just my nervous system recognizing a familiar kind of danger? And so that's where you realize right now they can't even tell the difference between what is advertising to them, of them, like who they are meant to be, or what is really true love, what is true support, what is true intuition. People are so mumble jumbled up right now that they can't get a clear answer. And so that's where I say, start with the herbs. There's even people I've taken as clients where I'm like, I really can't help you yet because you can't hear me. Like, I need you to drink the tea for a while. Let your nervous system calm down, reset. Let's let the inflammation calm down, and then we'll talk again, because there's and that's all part of it, right? It's like the fear and all of this stuff was really meant to tangle us up and take us from our true nature, which is being directly connected to source, directly connected to the angels, to the heavens and the earth. We are meant to be both. Um, but we're more powerful when we are. And so there is an agenda to keep us dumbed down, to keep us numb, to keep us trapped and enslaved. And so when we can learn that, yes, there are chains, but we could break them, and you could actually be way better off. We just got to do the work. We got to do the work. There's no shortcut for this, right? There's no GLP-1, there's no steroids, there's no fat burning pills. There's nothing that it can fast track this journey of awakening. It's messy, and you just got to keep finding the love. Like, love is always the answer. And you just got to keep finding that love for yourself, love for knowing that, yes, this happened. I'm not going to let it happen again. My eyes are open.
Holy Toledo. Can we just like cut that piece that you just said out and just like read that every day? Because
Yeah, please. See,
that
this is
just
why
like,
I love to do the events and talk to people
yeah,
like this. I wish I had somebody talking to me like this through the whole process. And then I
right?
realized I am that person. Okay,
Yes.
I need to go talk to people.
Yeah. And that's why we do the round table too, because everybody has such profound things to say every single week. And, it helps people to hear it. Because, yeah, I mean, it's always unraveling, unlearning, undoing for me anyway. All I have is my own experience, healing. And then one of the things I found that I'm really proud of lately is that I have less fucks that I give. And I just am like bolder than I've ever been. And a lot of that is because I've really like healed, especially like you said, you kind of this winter went into hibernation mode. I did that a little bit in like um December, January, like yeah, big time, big time.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard to grow when you're still in an environment where you're taking in other people's opinions, because
yeah,
then everybody has a different opinion. And so then you're kind of juggling, like, I want to make that person happy and I want them to see me like this. And, and so then it's like you really got to quiet out everybody and you have to ask, like, who am I? Who
yeah,
am I? Why am I here? What am I doing here? What do I
yeah,
want to do here? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? Because we're so used to feeling what we don't want to feel and experiencing what we don't want to experience that we spend so much time in our head repeating that. And that's also what you're magnetizing back to you. So getting to a space where you get very clear on this is what I want. This is it. I'm going to protect this fiercely. Everything else can, sorry, fall away, or you can come along. But, you got to get with it.
wow, yeah. I've recently also like have gotten a lot quicker at dismissing, like so quick, no fucks given. Again, it's really
Yeah,
cool and it's not
it's
out of
practice,
hate.
right? It's practice.
Yeah, and it's like I'm precious, you know what I mean?
I'm
I
worth it.
like yeah, no, I have stuff that I have to do for humanity, like we all do, right? So it's like no. Like if you're not gonna like you don't have to put me on a pedestal, but you have to damn well treat me well,
Yeah.
whoever you are, and you're gonna get the same respect back, 100%. That's just who I am. I'm such a love. So like literally, it's like if you're not a love back, you gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
And not just
100%.
people, everything, the spaces, the habits,
Yes.
the food, the whatever it is, anything that's not supporting you for the better, then it is standing in the way. It is blocking you.
Yeah. And I
And
think too, like consciousness is one of the things that it does. You have to move slowly in order to be in consciousness, I think. Sometimes, well, at least take stuff slowly sometimes. Like you could be like this and still be conscious sometimes, but like just taking that time to like basically think before you speak and like all
right,
this
like
stuff.
what is an emergency? What do I really need to do rapidly? Or is this something that's not an emergency that can wait, that can have time to develop, And so that's where the consciousness comes in. And that's where the tea comes in too, because the tea
Yes.
forces you to slow down. It's not a quick tea bag that you could just throw in the cup. There is a process. And in the process, there is this really beautiful ritual that unfolds where for myself, of course, I have every blend here. I make them all. So I have 17 blends on my counter in these beautiful jars. And I just walk up to them and I'm like, who do I need today? How am I feeling? And so it's a check-in point with yourself where you're like, what am I feeling? Like, okay, I'm a little bit anxious and I'm feeling like nobody's loving me. Okay, so I'm going to love myself. So I have Love Yourself Eternally and I have Anxiety Hex, and those two happen to be delicious together. And I'll mix a little bit of both of those together. And then you start boiling the water and you're sitting there waiting for that. And you can take those couple of moments to stay in it, in what you're feeling. For myself, I have the little beeswax candles there at the tea bar too. So I light 3 intention candles and I say a prayer and I hold my hands over them. Or I'll light like an incense or both, and so there's like little, like the time that you take to nurture yourself is a part of the tea process too. And if that's all the time you took for the day, it's still great, but at least you did that. Where most people, they don't. They're just like, next coffee, got to go next appointment, go, 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 go. And then at the end of the day, they're completely exhausted and they're completely out of touch with who they are. And so having this little beautiful tea ritual is like pausing for a minute. Like it's okay to slow down for a minute and reassess everything. And when you're from a calmer standpoint, you're going to make a better decision. When you're in that rapid fire, go, 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 you're still in a fight or flight response. And when you're in that response, you cannot think creatively. It's proven. There's no creative thinking. You're in a pure survival state. Cheers.
Cheers. This is
Cheers.
the
And
first
so,
time I've ever been on a round table that I've literally prepared a cup of tea of the Healerverse practitioner. And obviously, like, but I'm like, I just have to, it's like even your
yeah,
energy makes me want to drink tea. Yeah. Yeah. And I really like, I love showing people what you created because there's nothing like it. Like, I don't know. I love tea. I've never seen anything like this. You can see that you literally picked every single like flower, every single herb.
yeah,
Like,
I comb through
there's
it all and I do
flowers.
layers over the bowls too,
Yeah.
and specifically for what that blend is, and I talk to the
Mhm.
herbs and, with my hands over them, I talk to them and I ask them to do their part, which they already know what they're going to do. But, I spend that time putting a lot of intention into it. And my business partner is a level 3 Reiki master. So she also does too. So we have one day a week that we get together and we make the blends. And, it's such a beautiful day for both of us because there's nothing more fun than just playing with these herbs and combing through them. And as we mix them, like anything that's just like a stick, I'm like, no, we don't really need that. I really do comb through
Yeah,
them
you do.
in detail.
You guys, it's beautiful. Like I would what she's created. Can we maybe like do like a healer verse? Like we come one of the weeks and like help you or something?
I
Like
don't
I'm
know if
all
good
about
manufacturing practices approves that.
yeah, that's
Um,
so true. Or maybe
But
we
no,
could
I
do it
do
on
want to do some
it's
workshops.
like a
So
field trip.
yes,
Yes,
I've been saving
please.
the wildflowers, like the really bright ones. I've been drying them and saving them. And I would love to do a workshop where we all like dye a t-shirt with these
Yeah.
beautiful flowers and take you like through a walk in the woods where you can see the plants and I can really explain to
Yes.
you like the overstory and the understory and why plants growing in the sun are better for drying versus why plants growing in the wetness are better for fixing dryness, right? For adding moisture back into your body. And so I love to show the land and the habitat and like why the plants are the way they are.
I would love to learn about that. My skin is very dry, so maybe if I did more plants with like the wet, how did you say it?
Yeah, yeah. So like more of like the swampy type of plants are better.
Okay, cool.
So there's four constitutes, and that's wet or dry, hot or cold.
Okay,
And so most people run too. So you could be like wet and hot, or like you could be dry and hot, which is the
I
case
am dry and
probably for
hot.
you, dry and hot,
I
because
am
you
personally
have
dry
so
and
much
hot.
fire, so much fire.
Yes,
Okay. So like you were saying, you're passionate and you're driven and you get it done.
I run
And
hot and sweat. Like sometimes I even sweat when it's like people are like freezing, and I'm like, it's freaking hot.
so aloe is really good for you, doing like the aloe vera shots in the morning on
Oh,
an empty
okay,
stomach.
cool. This is
Lavender is good for you.
okay.
Okay. And even like lavender lotion, like finding really natural one. And when you're out of the shower and your skin is still a little wet, putting on that moisturizer too, so that it can really
Oh,
seal in the moisture there.
that's
Um,
amazing. If
and then
anyone
with the
else,
aloe, make sure it's the inner fillet. You don't want the whole fillet. Aloe naturally has latex to protect itself. So if you've ever cut a plant and you see that yellow goo dripping out at first,
yep.
that's the latex, and that will make you itchy. A lot of people are allergic to that. So when you do cut aloe, you want it to drip out for about 10-15 minutes, and then all of that is out. And now you get that really beautiful, clear inner fillet. So you'll see on the bottle, sometimes it'll say whole fillet or inner fillet.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for teaching us all this today. And I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to what I experience and everything. And man, you literally have so much wisdom like jammed in. And then I just feel like the energy coming from you too, as always. And I'm so grateful. And now I'm literally that's the first time I ever made tea on a round table, and I'm
Yes.
enjoying it so much.
You got to do it beforehand so that you're always ready with your roundtable
I
discussion.
know.
I never take
Yes.
a Zoom without a tea right here.
Literally, yeah. You know what? It's one of those things too. It's mindfulness. Like I need to see your face first so I can like remember to drink my tea. I go through phases and this is such a good time of year to make hot tea, but I also love what you said about making like an elixir.
Yes.
Because you can drink that at all times of the year and yeah, even for events and stuff, if people are doing events.
Yes. And what just came to me, I want to go back to your hotness. Um,
Yeah.
is that mint will really cool you down too,
Oh,
so
mint is
there's
good.
mint in that sleep tea. So maybe having that even earlier than your bedtime, like having it pre-dinner or with dinner,
That's good,
so
girl.
that can start to get in there to cool you down.
Yeah, it was the sleep one that I think I was drinking that was, and then I had a nice fever, which is what I needed. I even drank it the next day. Didn't matter. Whatever I was in it, that's what I, like you said, you go in the kitchen, you're like, what do I feel called to? Uh,
Yes.
yeah, and that's a
And
good,
whatever first pops in your head. I
yes.
have a friend too that she feels like she can't trust her head right now. So she had the 3 bags on the counter that she has, and she put her hands over them and she said, "Which one do I need?" And she picked one, and it was spiritual protection. And then she said, "Okay, it's not the best tasting one unless you're a tea drinker, because it's not as flowery, it's not rosy, it's not any of that stuff. It's very strong herbs that are potent for protection, like mugwort."
I
Um,
did
so
that.
yes. And so then she mixed the bags up and put them in a different order. She closed her eyes again. Which one do I need? And she picked it again. Spiritual protection. So there's a little test you can do like that. There's body testing too, where if you're strong, your arm doesn't
Yep.
give way. It's the truth.
And
So
you could stand up too and make yes forward and no backwards, like the
yes.
energy testing. Yeah, 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 that's a good call to bring that up too.
Yeah, until you start to
Yeah.
trust yourself. But you'll get to a point where sometimes I'm about to ask the question, what do I need today? And I already have the answer.
Yeah, 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 that's that's the best. When you're like so connected and you're like, yeah, and then you're just like all like that was me last night communicating with galactics.
I love that.
You guys are just getting all this attention right now.
They really are.
Good, it's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will.
It's so important to still stay grounded in our bodies, though, too.
Yes.
That's a big thing I see with the enlightenment right now is where we're trying to go so soulful, so higher up into these higher realms, but we are humans. We are on Earth. We do have these heavy, dense bodies. And so we have to take care of them. It's our
Yes.
vessel, it's our vehicle, so taking care of that body, but also with nature, on Earth. So
Thank you for
putting your
saying that.
back up to a tree.
Yeah.
Trees are considered the antennas to God. So sitting with your back up against a tree, added bonus if you can sit on a big rock and then have
Oh,
a tree at your back, and really speaking to Mother Earth and asking her, I have a lot of heavy energy right now. Can you take this from me? And she'll gladly take it from you and recycle it.
heck yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
You're
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you. And this was a really beautiful feminine conversation as well. And everybody could really benefit from this. Thank you.
Yes, we forget the men have feminine in them too, right? We all have
Yes,
divine feminine and divine masculine, and we have to
absolutely.
balance
Yeah.
those. And for men,
Yes.
it's like getting back into their feelings. They've been told for so long, just suck it up and deal with it,
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so getting in touch with who are you? What do you need? What do you like? What do you want? That's very
Yeah.
important.
Yes. Such a nurturing conversation. Thank you
Mhm.
so much.
You're most
So
welcome.
yes, so you could find her on Instagram, Facebook, Healerverse, and YouTube on this video for sure. At New Life Expo in a few weeks. And everyone is welcome there. And is there anything else you want to leave everybody with?
I have a book that will be coming out soon as well, Harmony Within. And so that is my way of breaking down the beginning steps. So I've really gathered a lot of that information from meeting everybody in public and remembering those questions and starting from the basics, from the ground up. And I haven't released it yet because I keep editing it and wanting it to be in this perfection state. But then I realized there's going to be 2 phases. So the first phase is pretty much ready. So we're in editing right now, and I'll make an announcement when that's ready to come out.
I'm so excited. Yes, launch it.
Yeah,
My book has typos. Just launch it.
just launch it. I know. So that's the thing I've been working through is the perfectionism. It's like, why do I feel like I have to be perfect?
It's going to be amazing. I'm excited to get that. That's going to be super helpful. And to coincide with the teas, like, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.